So there we go, lean on the right side of the map. Chaemiko on the left side, clearly. I'm curious to see if there's gonna be a Blade Master of Farseer on this map. I think this is a very good Blade Master map because you can creep, you can get the claws on a lot of different spots, so I would be surprised to see the Farseer. But at the same time, I've seen a lot more Farseers versus human recently, so I wouldn't be too surprised. And it's a Farseer indeed, so yeah, good Blade Master map, but the meta seems to be shifting towards the Farseer right now, so it's a Farseer. And standard Archmage for Chaemiko. So nothing too fancy here. You're gonna see some harassed by the orc. I'm curious to see if he's gonna play walkers, Raider walkers standard, or maybe if he's gonna try the shaman, wyvern shaman lame style. Not really lame style, because when they play wyvern shaman they go for straight fights. They don't just lame with wyvern, they just fight and win with lightning shield. So Raider Warcraft doesn't seem to be that strong with the Farseer because you don't have the Blade Master focus. You don't have the damage output of the Blade Master towards the caster, so I think you can play Raider Walker versus Orc, but it's not versus human, I mean, with the Farseer, but it's not as effective as if you are playing the Blade Master, clearly. I think he didn't get a single peasant, but I was AFK for a few seconds, so I didn't really look at it. Yeah, looks like Lin is not accomplishing much here. Chaemiko is defending well. Farseer still didn't get a single point of experience. Archmage very close to level 2 already because he got this camp. He got all of those creeps. And the Arcane Tower is gonna get up, so his defense is a lot better than Romantic, but Romantic versus Sowing was able to counter push. So the problem of Chaemiko is that his Archmage is not doing anything. His foodies are not doing anything, they're just reacting to this Farseer. So even though it looks like Chaemiko is not losing anything, he's also not doing anything. That's the problem. Romantic at this point of the game was already cancelling this burrow here and was delaying the tier 2 buildings for Sowing. On the other hand, Lin is keeping this Archmage busy, and I feel like Chaemiko should just... I can't do anything because Lin is playing it safe. He's got 2 grounds, so he's not greedily playing with 1 ground only. He's got 2 grounds and there's too much pressure. If Chaemiko leaves this position, then Lin can just break this farm here, enter the base and wreck everything. So he has to defend. It feels like he has to defend. But the problem is that Archmage, not only Archmage is only level 1, so he doesn't have the level 2, but it's not cancelling anything. It's not doing any damage, so... and he's going rifles, okay. So while it might look like this orc didn't accomplish too much in the early game, in the reality he accomplished a lot. Because his tier 2 is safe, totally safe. And the Archmage is level 1, so the Farseer doesn't need levels. Of course, there aren't going to be any level 2 water elementals anytime soon. So very good early game for Lin. Perfect timing for his tier 2 buildings. Wyvern is up, no tower rush, no nothing. Human kept in base, is not creeping, like the best early game you could imagine as Orc, really. And maybe Chaemiko too scared about that Farseer. I think he should have, in the beginning where there was only one grunt, I think he should have just crept to level 2. Now he gets it, but yeah. I think as a human you have to find a way to cancel those buildings. Pretty much like, if you didn't see it, just go to my channel and check the game I casted a few hours ago between Romantic and Sowin. That was pretty much textbook, like what you should do as a human to prevent the Orc from teching, from getting the tier 2 buildings. That was perfect. He lost 4 peasants, but he kept cancelling Spirit Lodge. He cancelled the shop 3 times, 2 or 3 times. He cancelled the 1 burrow, if I don't remember wrong. Of course, the opponent was Sowin. It was not Lin. It was Sowin, but his reaction was different. His gameplay was totally different. He didn't worry about defending. He didn't give a shit about losing 4 peasants. He didn't even have a freaking arcane tower. He just went straight for the Orc base and he kept delaying the Orc. He knew that if he could manage to cancel those buildings multiple times, then it would still be ahead. And then he won the game easy, very easy. But now we have Orc with his tier 2 army. And I don't know. Chaemiko's got his rifles, but this TC is level 2 already. And this is lane, so his micro should be on point. However, the Wyvern is falling. So now he has to do a good job with those shamans. First rifle falls. I think if he gets the other rifle it's big, because then there's no anti-air, but he's surrounding the TC. And Lin has to use the TP, so very good fight by Chaemiko here. He got the Wyvern. He lost, I believe, okay, lost 2 rifles, but I think it's worth it. You lose 2 rifles for 1 Wyvern and the TP, I think it's totally worth it. Oh, but there's an expansion. I didn't see that. And I'm not sure if this is scouted or not. This is big. If Lin gets this up with 1 tower, then he's gonna have the upper end. So if this fight that he lost bought him the time for the expansion, then it was still worth it. Now it's scouted for sure. There's a footman here. Double hill scroll for double hill scroll for Lin. So greedy, but so useful, because you need it. When I play Orc, I always feel like I don't have enough speed scrolls, because I always buy only 1, and then I use them to engage in the fight, then I want to have another one to leave the fight, and I don't have it, because I only buy 1. Because I never find myself with the resources to buy 2. So he's got 2 of them. 1 on the TC and 1 on the Farseer. So he can use it to engage, and then he can use it to disengage. And he's got 4 shamans. He gave up on the Wyvern, so he baited. He baited the human into mass rifles, but there's only 1 rifle. There was only 1 Wyvern. I feel like that's the best choice, because Wyverns freaking suck versus human. I don't care what some orcs say. If the human has bad micro, if you play orc better than the human plays human, of course you can play Wyvern, but if you're facing an equal level human and you're fighting with wyverns versus rifles, you're fucked. Because wyverns are just shit versus rifles. They're just shit. Of course, if you are the better player and your micro is superior to the human, then you're gonna win with rifles, but that's just because of your micro. It's not because of wyverns being good. Wyverns are totally shit versus rifles. Like 2 shots of the rifles plus the water elementals and the wyvern is gone. While the rifles are just standing there and they never die to the shots of the wyvern. So the only way you're gonna win with orc versus human using wyverns is if you lame. So you gotta lame very well, or you gotta have like the better micro. But if you're facing an equally skilled opponent with wyverns, you're not gonna win. Plus I feel like humans got the advantage in this matchup anyways. So very good choice. I like this build by Lane, not going for wyverns, going for mass grunts, lots of shamans, berserker, 1 raider, perfect army to make those rifles useless. These rifles are useless now. They don't do anything. He's got lightning shield on the shamans, he's got a lot of grunts, he's got lightning shield on the TC. Look at this. Chaemiko is getting wrecked. Jesus. Most one-sided game I casted today. No chance. GG.